Okay, welcome to a video on 3.2, which is more about parallel lines and transversals. So classify the pair of numbered angles. So 1, 5 here, those are going to be corresponding angles because they're in the same position between the transversal and the line. 2 and 7 are going to be alternate exterior angles. They're on the outside and the alternate. And I don't know about these word flexors, so just cross that off. Now, this is also a big deal. This is also super important, as I said in the previous video. Make sure you probably print this and have this somewhere in the front of your binder or whatever. It's so important. When corresponding angles are always going to be congruent to each other. This is when two lines are parallel. So P and Q are parallel here. P is parallel to Q. So therefore, 2 is going to equal 6 when they have corresponding angles. Also, 4 is going to equal 5 when you have alternate interior angles. Let me give you a good example here. Two parallel lines, call them P and Q, like we have in the diagram here. P and Q. And you have a transversal, we'll call it T. What if this were 80 degrees? Then that's also going to be 80 degrees right here, just like the corresponding angle case, right? And as you would imagine, this would be 80 degrees because those are vertical angles, as we see here, right? Those are vertical angles. And that's also 80 degrees. Those are the corresponding angles. If I erase this, oops, sorry. If I erase this, the alternate interior angles are also going to be the same. Likewise with the alternate exterior angles. If I erase these here, those are also going to be the same. As you see right here. And lastly, if you're a little bit careful here, that's 80 degrees, right? That's going to be 100 degrees right here, because that forms a linear pair with this 80 degrees. We see, oh, those add to 180. So consecutive interior angles are always going to be supplementary to each other. Or add to 180. Always, always, always. When the lines are parallel. So that's a big deal. All that's a big deal. So the measure of 3 of the numbered angles is 120. Identify them. Well, here's 120. Definitely 5. Definitely 8. And definitely 4. For 5, that's because they're corresponding angles. For 8, that's alternate exterior angles, because 120 is on the exterior, and so is 8, and the alternate. And for 4, that's going to be vertical angles. Vertical angles are also congruent, right? Because 4 is opposite of 120. Let's keep moving. These problems for sure, we're going to have our next test, which will be Thursday of next week. Expect this. So angle 4 will definitely equal 115 degrees because those are vertical angles. And angle 4 and x plus 5 are supplementary because they're consecutive interior angles, or as I like to say, same side interior. I like to say that also. That's the way I learned in high school. So then 115 plus x plus 5 has to equal 180. If you solve it, you get x plus 120 equals 180, x is 60. For this one here, those are going to be the same. Those are the corresponding angles. So 135 equals x minus 30, x equals 165 for part B. Okay, a couple more problems for you in this video. Angle 3 is right here. Angle 8 is right here. Well, I know angle 3 is going to equal angle 2, vertical angles. So use some logic, right? Angle 2 is going to equal angle 7. Alternate interior angles, right? So those are the same. And by the way, I forgot to mention this. I've done this in the past with you guys. The arrows mean parallel. So if I draw two lines like this, and I do a little like symbol like this, that means they're parallel. So you're not told that explicitly, but it is implicit when you see those little red arrows on both those black lines there. That means they're going to be parallel. So that's why I know 2 and 7 are the same, because those are alternate angles for parallel lines. And then lastly, angle 7 and angle 8 form a linear pair. So to add the 180. Well, now we know that 2 equals 7 and 2 equals 3. So by transitive property, angle 3 equals angle 7. Remember, we talk about transitive property. Everything builds upon itself in this class, right? That's how math works. That's transitive. Angle 3 equals angle 7. So then we're just going to say this then. 68 plus 2x plus 4 has to have 180. Because if angle 3 is 68, then angle 2 is 68. If angle 2 is 68, angle 7 is 68. And 7 and 8 add up to 180. So 68 plus 2x plus 4 equals 180. Work it out. 2x plus 72 equals 180. 2x equals, God, what is that, 28? 98? No, 108. X is 54. Oop, I can do better than that. Perfect, 54 degrees. Or just say 54, it's fine. Lastly, 3.2.4. When sunlight enters a drop of rain, different colors of light leave the drop at different angles. Okay. And you see the little symbol, as I mentioned earlier. Those are parallel. So angle 1 has to equal angle 2. Those are alternate interior angles. If I call each ray of sunlight, say I call it like M and L, line M is parallel line L. Because you have that symbol right there. So when sunlight enters a drop of rain, different colors that leave the drop at different angles. This process is what makes a rainbow. For violet light, angle 2 is 40 degrees. Angle 1 is also 40 degrees. And the reason, alternate interior angles for parallel lines. That's the reason. Okay, that concludes the video for 3.2.